What's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Reach for Recovery. My name is Baron Young. I'll be leading you on our topic today. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can't trust a word that's coming out of a narcissist's mouth. Not a single one. I don't care if they make it a pinky swear, a solemn pledge. I don't care if you're doing one of them old school gentlemen's agreements on the partnership where it's just a shaking hand and no written contract. It doesn't even matter if you're sitting in that church or if you're sitting in front of that courthouse reading your vows to one another. Once you identify that person as a narcissist, they are a practiced liar. They don't have any conviction lying to your face, lying to a judge, lying to God Almighty. It's something they do. It's in their nature. Now, you might not have been with somebody long enough to identify them as a narcissist, but it doesn't take too long with being around people to see if they're a liar or not. Now, every once in a while, you might see some small white lies, but if it happens again and again, okay, you can kind of identify if they're a chronic liar. And if they're a chronic liar, it doesn't matter if it's a narcissist or any other member of the dark triad. Your word can't be trusted. So you can't be trusted, or whoever that person is can't be trusted. And sometimes the stuff that's so trivial, like it'll be something small. Like you'll be with them, you'll see they had tuna casserole for lunch, but then later on in the day when they're engaged in a conversation with somebody, they're talking about, or they're even talking, you'll be part of the conversation. They'll be talking about how they had their leftover rib tips and lobster tail. And to you, it's so trivial. It's like, well, why are you lying about that? But it's so trivial that you don't even address it. Now, I want you to understand when they do those small little white lies like that, that's testing you to see your tolerance for lying. If they can get away with them small little white lies and you don't cause a fuss, then they know that, okay, you're fine on that level. Let me turn it up another notch on the next go around. And they'll keep turning it up. And then eventually you'll address them on something. And then once you address them, they just adapt and adjust their way of lying. But they'll keep lying on and throughout. So that's why I say you can't trust the word comes out of their mouth. Now, if y'all have dealt with a narcissist for any amount of time, you don't even need this video. So I'm gonna keep this one super short. But for those of you that didn't, for those of you that need a little bit of reassurance, we're gonna dive deep into it. Now, this one, instead of going into the Bible on the back end, we're gonna jump into it now. So I need you to understand how important it is to avoid chronic liars, people with that lying spirit. So today we're going to jump into Romans 3:13. So I'll jump in and read a little bit of it real quick. Their throat is an open tomb. With their tongues they have practiced deceit. The poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Now I want to stop there real quick so we can talk through it. Now, for the very first thing you read, their throat is an open tomb. It sounds ghastly, doesn't it? And it's meant to sound that way. Think about it. Nothing good comes from a crypt. And if that crypt is in your mouth, nothing good is coming of it. Now, I can't think of any horror movie I've seen when anything good comes out the crypt or comes out that cemetery. Pet Cemetery, Thriller, Living Dead, nothing. Nothing good comes out of there. So what 313 is telling you is that nothing good is going to come from that mouth. It may sound good. I mean, those zombies dancing in Thriller, I mean, it looked pretty sweet. But if they come up on you, you're going to be singing a different tune. So then we jump into the next part of 13, where it says, with their tongues, they have practiced deceit. Now, I talked about this in another video. They practice deceit. And what I likened it to, I'm going to liken it to it again, as a trained athlete. A trained athlete, to get to the level that they're on, they have to practice day in and day out in order to get to that level. And that's just what your narc does with lying. So it's not just with you, it's with everybody they come across. They practice that lying day in and day out. And I want to take it a little bit deeper there as well, because with that false self, they're practicing that lying to themselves as well. Think about that. You get up every morning and you openly practicing deceiving yourself into believing that you're something that you're really not. And to believing that you're something grander than you're not really. Man, when you're going up against that, that's why your guard has to be up. I mean, I consider myself a pretty good person. I consider myself having pretty good discernment. But against somebody that's lying all day, every day, 24/7, I just don't have the stamina to catch all of them. So that's why you got to move past it. Then you jump into 14. Oh, well, actually, it's another part of 13 where it says the poison of asp is under their lips. Now, asp is short for a Greek word aspis, and that's short for a venomous snake or a viper. So what they're saying is that not only are they lying left and right, not only is nothing good coming from that throat and that mouth, but the things that you do hear, the things that you do ingest are poisonous, likened to a viper. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to get bit left and right every day. And then the other part of 14 is whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Now, that narc may look sweet on the outside, but on the inside, like I told you, there is something deeply wrong and deeply broken. And that's the reason that they need the false self. Now, the false self may be able to fool you face to face, but that broken and bitterness comes out through their words, comes out through their lying, comes out through that crypt, that tomb that's right here. I need you to understand that. Now, if you keep going in this text, 15 through 18, it gets a little darker. And to me, when I read it, that's when I feel like you've tolerated the lying and now you've had prolonged exposure to it. So I'll go ahead and read it so that I can further explain what I'm talking about. So 15 is, their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now, the reason that the narc or any member of that dark triad or any member of any chronic liar can just lie profusely like they can is because they don't have any conviction. That conviction is a result of the fear and the belief of God. So they don't have that. So they can just spew those lies coming from that broken and hurt place. But the reason you really need to stay away from it is because it gets darker. They don't know peace. And if they don't know peace and you're listening to them consistently, eventually they're going to start to strip your peace away. They're quick to destruction, misery, and bloodshed. That's all detrimental to your life. Like I don't need to explain it any further than that. Those are some pretty vivid descriptions, some pretty vivid words to give you what you're gonna have if you keep entertaining a liar over a prolonged period of time. So, like I told you, never, ever applies to narcissists, applies to the whole dark triad, applies to chronic liars. Never, ever trust their word. I know that you have judgment, you have discernment, but don't put it to the test against an experienced liar and manipulator. Just leave them to the wayside. So, with that being said, I thank y'all again for allowing me to fellowship with you. I love you. Until next time, peace.